Welcome to this episode of Let's Get Real. This is your host, Amir Helaly, and today we get to sit down with Dr. Sam Bakhtiar. He's the CEO of the Camp Transformation Center. Although he's built a multi-million-dollar business, which is in the tune of revenue north of $100 million with over 100 locations worldwide, Sam not only talks business, but more so the mindset and the attitude it took to navigate through all the adversity he had to overcome after fleeing Iran as a refugee. In this interview, Sam talks about what it was like growing up in Sharon, Pennsylvania, and shares some exclusive, never-before-heard experiences that not only took him to obtain massive wealth in life, but also helped him find the love of his life. So grab your pens and papers, take notes, get ready to implement new mindsets in your life. So without further ado, let's get real with Sam Bakhtiar.
Really interesting. So every single detail, every single pain that you had, whether it be a cold floor, whether it be being scrawny, whether it be being hairy, you know what I mean, just by genetic design, that was always something that pushed you, hey, when I get there, I'm going to change everything that's in my power to change, correct?
Well, absolutely. I mean, look, I was talking to somebody else the other day, and I don't want to downplay bullying and, you know, all that kind of stuff, because I know that's a serious problem, all that kind of stuff. But when I was around, when I was like, growing up, in Sharon or this and that, man, I mean, I got beat up, I got ridiculed, I got, made fun of, every name in the vocabulary, they call me. Every name, I don't even want to say it because it will offend so many people, and all that kind of stuff. I don't remember anybody hanging themselves, or I don't remember anybody killing themselves back then, or all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying it's not a problem, it's a problem, but I think as a society we become soft. When I got bullied and I got beat up, I just went back to the drawing boards. What I need to do to come back and beat this motherfucker.
Well, that's one way. That's a plan to execute.
I was like, I just have to come. I just have to know to defend myself. If somebody is going to make fun of me, I'm going to come back now. I'm going to come back and make fun of them. So
and then 27 inches later on your arms.
It made me strong. It made me stronger. It made me more resilient. You know what I mean? Bullying, it was a fact of life.
Yeah.
Growing up. It's not if you're going to get bullied, it's when you're going to get bullied. Is it today or is it going to be tomorrow? It's one of these times in the week you're going to get bullied. And to me, for me, it made me resilient.
Yeah, I think back in the day, we were taught how to handle bullying. Now I think everyone's trying to avoid it altogether, but I think you can agree on this as well. There's always bullying in one form, or you know what I mean, one shape or form in every stage of your life, whether it be in your professional career. I'm pretty sure you've made some enemies on the way up, you know what I mean? And I know that you have a list of people you just want to demolish. So did that start at that time? Was that when?
No. That was started after
Okay.
in business and all that kind of stuff, But I think subconsciously I had that list. I didn't have it written down back then because I didn't know what to write down was, all that kind of stuff. But for me, it was always like, okay, tell me I can't do something. Frank Sinatra said that the biggest revenge is what? Massive success, right? It's massive success. So if you want to be, successful, be massively, if you want to revenge on somebody or something, you want to be massively successful. Today, though, nobody wants revenge. Well, everything's green. Let's just smoke some weed and let me just do this and then everything's green, everything's good. And no, you shouldn't be hating on nobody. Fuck that.
So you made it a mission to get back at people in a modest way, not so much.
I'm not going to get back at people, personally, or I'm going to go after them. I'm just going to become successful.
And that's your way of, hey,
man, the girl who said no to me for prom, hit me up later on. Hey, let's go hang out. This is not, I'm good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just became the best version that I could be.
I think Pitbull said it. He said, the best deals are the ones that you could walk away from, or the ones that you could say no to. You know what I mean? So do you feel like just pushing that away, turning it down, that was more of a win for you at that point? It was later gratification than...
I had somebody better. The hottest girl in school, I asked her for prom, I was like, no, that's okay. A couple of years later, I had a chick hotter than her. You know what I mean? So it's not, for me, it's that you become the best version of you. And you don't really need to see what they're doing. You become the best version of you, that's enough. They'll see. They'll see all the haters, follow me. All the people who said I couldn't do, they follow me. A lot of them ask me for jobs and loans.
And how do you respond to something like that?
You know what? You know the best way to do? You help them out.
Do you?
You help them out.
And that just feeds your soul, right?
Dude, I mean, it's all, when somebody bows down to you, basically.
You lift them up.
You lift them up. I'm not going to kick him down.
Yeah.
I'm not going to kick a man when they're down. I'm not going to do that. You know what I mean? But I'm going to show them, that they were wrong.
Was this always your way to deal with things, or is this something you grew into? Because I know people at a young age are more impulsive than anything, and they just think with emotion. But that seems like a very logical way to think of it. You know what I mean? You're not really thinking, okay, well, you put me down, I'm gonna keep you down. You're like, hey, you know what? All's forgiven.
Bro, I think time heals everything. You know what I mean? I just used, naysayers, haters, people who doubted me
To fuel you.
to fuel me. I remember even with some relatives. I remember, having a discussion with a relative that I didn't, agree with what he was saying. And he goes, so you read all these books, you think you're smart now? Like, this is my own flesh and blood.
And this is after or before you became a doctor? Because
No, this is after.
that's a pretty blunt statement, you know what I mean?
So you think you read all these books, you're smart right now? I'm like, well, I actually am. I'm sorry you haven't picked up a book after high school. I'm sorry you drink and you wasted your life. I didn't say that, but I was thought that. He's an older, relative. You know what I mean? But that's the kind of mentality you deal with all the time. The best thing to do in life: stay focused, stay in your lane, let your success speak. You don't gotta say shit.
Yeah.
I don't have to say shit.
Yeah, no, my mentor always tells me your mistakes will be buried in your successes, so I could definitely agree with that.
And and you always understand that your naysayers or your haters, they were go on a speaker and announce your failures,
But never clap for your
but
successes.
they'll like never say anything about your successes. You know what I mean? They'll be the first one to comment a negative comment on your post if there is anything that could be found wrong.
Yeah, like
You
the
know what I
lighting
mean?
or
And everything else you put on this and that. Oh, they'll never comment on like anything like that. But they'll show up when they get problems.
Interesting. So at that point, you bodybuild, you compete. Where was the decision made to move to California? Because I know you went to school in Whittier, right?
Yeah. So I went to Penn State.
Okay.
I got my master's in pre-medicine and nutrition.
And you spent 6 years there.
Yeah, 6
Okay,
years there.
cool.
6 years there. And then I was like, all right, my mom said become a doctor, lawyer, engineer.
Or a disgrace.
Or a disgrace. Or better say, I prefer a doctor. So I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to cut people. I don't want to do surgery. I don't want to drill people's teeth. I'm like, what doctor has to do with muscles, bones, and everything that I like pertaining to bodybuilding? And at that time, chiropractic was the only program that had a doctorate program. Physical therapists didn't have a doctorate program. So I chose chiropractic and I started, applying to all the chiropractic schools. And the two best chiropractic schools were the number one was Palmer in Iowa.
Okay.
And I wasn't fucking going to Iowa. I'm like, fuck that. I'm tired of the cold weather.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
So I'm going to go to California. Plus, I had my uncles and aunts and stuff here. So I came here in California and moved in with my uncle and aunt for a year.
So you were like, what, 26? Because I know you graduated at 27, right? Or you spent 2 years.
I was 23.
23. So when you came to California, you were 23.
Yeah, 23.
Can you tell me the difference between the day you left Sharon, Pennsylvania, and came to California, and the difference between the day you left Iran and moved to the U.S.? Do you use that as a frame of reference whenever you move up or, make a major change in your life?
Well, shit. I mean, it was almost like the same shock. I mean, I don't know,
will I be accepted? Will I find the place to fit in?
No, not that. My mind was blown because, growing up, I always like weightlifting. I've been into three things all my life: weightlifting, cars, and women. Thank God, thank God I narrowed down to women because that shit costs too much. So when I came to California, the first thing I noticed was I'm driving in Sharon, Pennsylvania. If you drive a Honda Accord, you're fucking made it.
I could imagine.
You made it. I mean, if you have a new Honda Accord, you're a fucking doctor. Everybody knows you and everything like that. I'm coming to California, and all of a sudden I'm going, fuck, there's a BMW. Oh, there's a Rolls Royce. Oh, there's a Lamborghini.
And that was completely foreign to you, right?
I was like, what the hell? I only see these things in the magazines, like Car and Driver. I'm infatuated with cars. I remember pulling up to South Coast Plaza, and I literally for an hour I didn't even go in because I was like a thief looking inside these cars. I'm going, oh my God, like look at this. Like this is my favorite car. I couldn't my mom was like, dude, what are you doing? I was like crazy blown away, and I remember going to South Coast Plaza and looking at a t-shirt, and this was like Like I said, this was like 1990.
So your mom
96.
moved with you. You didn't move alone.
No, she came with me.
Okay.
She came with me, then she would stay back.
Okay, yeah. She just wanted to make sure
Yeah.
that you had a comfortable situation, yeah.
Yeah. So, and I remember looking at a t-shirt, it was like $100. I'm like, $100? I'm going like, what the hell? I'm like, I was making $3.35 an hour back then. $100, that's like a week's worth of work for a t-shirt. And I see people with shopping bags and Rolls Royces and coming there and putting the stuff. I was like, my mind was blown. Like, what do these people do? And it's so funny. Like, I catch myself doing the same thing now. Go to South Coast, valet park the car, getting, shops bags, getting a Rolls Royce or Lambo or whatever I'm driving that day. And I'm going like, my God, this was surreal because I was like one of those guys. And it's funny because I went back to Pittsburgh and I went to the Louis store and I bought like a bunch of luggages and stuff like that. And these two kids were coming to the mall. They're like, "You're buying that? What? How do you do that?" And I was that kid. I was that kid.
Are you ever approached by younger people?
Yes, all the time.
And what's your message to them? Like, because I know at certain points in my life, things seemed unattainable. I remember looking at things, even less than $100. I'm like, how? And people are buying 5, 6 of them, you know what I mean? So what's your best advice for them? I
tell them, hey, look, if you want it, you can have it. I was just like you. I never thought I could have this. But I worked hard, I stayed persistent, I was relentless, and I got it. And if you really want this kind of stuff, you got to find what you want to do and be the best at it. I get approached all the time. I mean, I remember, looking at cars all the time, and usually people, that had like Ferraris and Lambos, kid, get away from my car, you know what I mean? And I told myself I'll never be that. So if I see a kid, looking at my car and all that kind of stuff,
You'll roll down the window.
I open up the car. No, I'm like, hey, come get in. Hey, get in, And I usually like, there's a mom where, hey, mom, he's cool, right? I'm not going to kidnap, you know what I mean? And these days, people are always like looking at you weird, you know what I mean? I'm like, no, just come in, get in the car. Hey, you want to start it up? Let's start it up, And it just makes their day. That's what I want to do. This stuff don't mean, this stuff doesn't mean anything to me. This stuff was what meant to me when I was coming up. Because to me, I attribute this stuff to success. I don't attribute this stuff to success anymore. It's who I become is the most successful thing that I've ever done.
And you